Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'll show you how to make homemade cornstarch. You can use cornstarch to thicken up your sauces. You can use cornstarch for your stir fries, for your cookies, and a lot more. So if you'd like to see how I made this, then please stay tuned and keep watching. We will start by washing and then soaking the maize or corn overnight. That way it's easier for our blender to blend. And here with me, I'll be using the White Harmony broken maize. This particular brand I'm using is the broken one, but you can also use the whole maize grain. And this is a closer look of how it looks like. I'll be using 2 packs of that, and it is very important to use the white corn or maize when making cornstarch. Please do not use the yellow corn because I have never seen a yellow cornstarch before. And this particular brand I'm using, the skin or the shaft has already been taken out. So that means that what I have here is pure cornstarch. Alright, so at this point, I'm just going to give this a very good wash and then I'll allow this to soak overnight. So you only want to soak this overnight because soaking this more will cause fermentation and you might not like the end result of the cornstarch. It's gonna smell funny. So please do not soak this for more than 10 to 12 hours. So this is the next day. We're gonna give this a very good wash before blending. At this point, our corn is ready to be blended and I'll be blending this in batches. So I'm just going to scoop in some of the corn into my blender. Next, I'll add a bit of water to help the blades of my blender move, and then I'll blend this up till it is nice and smooth. Here comes the first batch, nicely blended. I'll go ahead and repeat the same process with the remaining. The next step will be sieving the blended corn, and I'll be using this sieve right here. You can also use a chiffon cloth, a cheesecloth, or a nut milk bag. So now I'm going to scoop in some of the blended corn, and I'm also going to be rinsing out my blender as well. I'll be doing this with my clean hands. You can also use a wooden spoon or a spatula. Just feel free to use whatsoever you are comfortable with. And if you're going to be using your hands, make sure you are doing this with a clean hands. So continue this process and keep adding little amount of water at a time and keep rinsing out all the starch until you are left with the shaft just like so. Once I'm done with the straining process, I'm going to transfer the cornstarch into a cheesecloth. Mine came in a bag form, and this will help me trap in all the cornstarch. And once that process is completed, I'm going to place this on a strainer, and you can also place a heavy object on it to enable the water drain out as fast as possible. I'll be placing this now on a strainer, and underneath I have a bowl. You can also place a heavy object on it to help the water drain out faster. Here is our cornstarch out of the bag. It is completely dried, but not bone dried though. Yeah, so I actually placed an heavy object on it and allowed the water to drain overnight. Yeah, so it is no longer dripping water, and this little one I'm getting out from the bag was the water in the bowl, which I allowed to settle down. And just look at all the cornstarch I got from there. Wow, this is a whole lot of cornstarch. I'm going to break this now into smaller chunks. And for the drying process, you can use the lowest setting of your oven, about 80 to 90 degrees. You can also sun dry this, or you can also use a dehydrator. For the drying process, I'll be using a dehydrator, but as I said earlier, you can also use the lowest setting of your oven, about 80 degrees Celsius, or you can also sun dry this under the sun till they are bone dried. My dehydrator has already been lined with some parchment paper, so I'm just going to go ahead and transfer all the cornstarch on my dehydrator, and I'm going to allow this to dehydrate for about 8 hours or overnight, or until they are bone dried. I'll break them more into smaller pieces, and this will also help speed up the drying process. So now that I have everything on the dehydrator, I'm just going to cover this up and allow to dehydrate until it is completely dried. Now that the cornstarch is completely dried, the next step is to blend, but first I'll transfer them onto a bowl and then we will be ready to blend. So now that I have everything in the bowl, the next step is to transfer some of the cornstarch to a dried blender or a grinder, and we're going to be blending this in batches, and we're going to blend this till it is nice and smooth. The first batch is perfectly blended. I'll transfer that to a sieve and then repeat the same process. Here comes the second batch. I'm just going to sieve this one. Let's see how it is, and then I'll go off camera and blend the remaining. I'm gonna reblend this one with the remaining because nothing goes to waste. Now take a look at our cornstarch. It is so smooth and fine. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I just made my homemade cornstarch. So there you go, tasty team, our homemade cornstarch recipe. It is so fine and smooth, just as the one you will pick up in any grocery store. So at this point, we will store this in an airtight container, and you can use this for your gravies, stir fries, cookies, and even to make homemade custard powder, which I'll be showing you in my next video. So if you like this video, please go ahead and click the like button and subscribe if you are not yet already. Also, feel free to share this video with your family and friends, and put on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye for now.